Hello, everyone. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we are going to have Steve. Steve is from Ohio in the USA. So let's see what Steve has to say. Enjoy the interview. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Hello, Steve. I'm very well. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks so much for taking the time today for the interview. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Looks like fun.
So tell me, how was your birthday? I know you're celebrating your birthday this weekend. Tell me, how was it?
That's right. Turned the big 3-0. It was great. Spent it with my girlfriend. She went above and beyond. She got me a lot of fun stuff. I'm a big Buffalo Bills fan, from Buffalo originally, just like my Instagram handle, Steve from Buffalo. So I got a whole bunch of stuff there. She painted me a picture, which was just phenomenal. It was a really special birthday. It was our first birthday celebration of mine together. And yeah, so that was cool.
Amazing. Talking about birthday, for you, do you like celebrating your birthday? Do you think that age just numbers, or it kind of bother you a little bit?
Oh, it doesn't bother me at all. I think age is a mindset. It's something where I have vitality, and I'm 30. I am excited to be 30. I'm excited to progress. I really started cherishing and not taking anything for granted recently. So I think that that's my most important thing. Age is a wicket when you're 18 or 21, things like that. But at this point, it's just it's a day that we can choose to celebrate ourselves with the loved ones that we have.
Yes, I think birthday, like age is just numbers. Everything's here. You know what I mean? Everything, it's here in your head, in your mind.
Yeah.
Steve, tell me, where are you from?
Buffalo, New York.
Oh, wow. And that's where you live right now?
No, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio right now, finishing up my bachelor's degree at Case Western Reserve University, mechanical engineering, and I'm minoring in astronomy and business management.
Oh my goodness, wow. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about your course. Tell me everything. What do you like the most? What's the most interesting part about it?
There's a lot of different aspects to engineering. I love focusing on the design side of things. Recently, I designed and fabricated an item or two items. It was a little complicated, but they were designed to carry 8-foot by 8-foot mirrors. So I built the steel frame, attached some wheels on it, and I made it. Yeah, I designed it, cradle to grave sort of thing, even though it's very much alive, not at the grave. But right now I'm doing a lot of material design selection. So things like tensile strength and yield strength. And then what else? There's measurements, and it can get a little, I would say, technical, and some people might not find that interesting, but this is my prerogative. This is my purpose, and I love that I am where I am because I get to go to places where I choose, and places being of my career path and things of that nature.
I see. And how long gonna be there for? How many years more are you gonna be in Ohio because of your course?
Well, because of the schooling, I should be here about another year and a half, and then, wherever the world takes me.
Amazing. Right. So before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, would you like to tell me something interesting about yourself?
Sure. Like I said, I just turned 30 years old. I'm an avid weightlifter. I love it. I love reporting my journey on Instagram just because it's a special place where everybody's kind of working together. There are kind of toxic elements, but I choose to take the good and leave the bad. So there's that. I'm here studying mechanical engineering, like I said. I have a wonderful girlfriend of almost a year. We're close. And I'm really just taking it day by day, but I don't want to ever take anything for granted. I want to cherish as much as I can and as often as I can. So.
Amazing, Steve, amazing. Right. So, are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through your memories in life and to share your point of views?
Yes.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. This is my best friend. Full of random fun questions. I'm just going to play a song now just for us to get a bit in the mood before the first question. Let's do it. Okay, Steve, before we start the game, during the journey, if comes up a question that you don't want to talk about for some reason, you don't want to answer, I always can change, okay? All very friendly. Okay? Right, first question for you is, good one. Who are you most thankful for and why?
That's a great question. I have to think of my dad. I'm thankful for my dad because he gave me everything that he could mentally and physically. He passed away 2 years ago, but I mean, he's still my hero. I still cherish his imparting of all of his wisdom and his approach to life. He has such a beautiful outlook on the way things are and the way I am and how I want to be. So that's who I would have to say is my most valued person. Him, the rest of my family, though, and my wonderful girlfriend.
Do you have siblings as well?
I do. I have a younger brother.
I see. As you're talking about your dad, and when you think about him, if you can share, what's the most beautiful, let's say, memory that comes to your mind when it's like when you talk about him, like right now?
He had a lot of great things to share, but I would have to say his purpose when he shared it, that was fun. So we were hanging out in the drive-through of a Burger King in a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and we're chilling, waiting to drive up, and we were talking about something, and it comes up that he says, when I was 12, I would tell people what I wanted to be when I grew up. And I was like, what'd you want to be? He said, I wanted to be a dad.
Oh.
So ever since he was a little kid, he had always wanted to be a father. And it ended up being that he just knocked it out of the park. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm sure wherever he is right now, he's looking at this interview and he's smiling right now for sure. I have no doubts. Next question, let's do it. All right, next question for you is, as a kid, did you have any imaginary friends, and what was their name?
Yeah, I used my imaginary friend to avoid bedtime. So this was a wonderful story shared with me while I had reached like early adulthood. That I don't know what exactly it was supposed to be, but the name was Haseen, and I would approach the stairs, as I'm supposed to be. Tucking myself into bed, and ask where's Haseen?
And Buffalo is the place where you grew up and raised?
Yes, that's right.
Oh wow! And tell me a little bit about the city, Buffalo. It's in New York State, isn't it?
In Western New York, and awesome enough, we represent the only NFL team to play in New York State. So there's that. It's not just a Passover state anymore, or a flyover state. That's what they call it. Just 25 minutes away from my house growing up was Niagara Falls. So I really enjoyed that. The food there is authentic, wonderful, home of the buffalo wing, but we just call them wings. So, yeah.
Amazing. Very good. Next question, Steve. Let's do it. Right, before the next question, when was the moment that you realized, okay, I'm gonna be an engineer, astronomer? There was a moment, or you kind of built up through your life?
I had always wanted to do things in math and science. I've had a knack for that field. When I really wanted to figure out when I wanted to be an engineer, a creator of things, was when I had started working in a wood shop temporarily and just using my hands and taking, stock, right? Pieces of material and making it into something. So I started doing it, and it was just a wonderful and beautiful thing. And I didn't want it to stop. And then I figured out I could get paid a lot of money for doing that. And I thought, let's just smack the two together. And the astronomy ties in. I've always loved the cosmos, the stars, and the study of our existence. Carl Sagan is one of my heroes, and he would speak of these other places, worlds, galaxies, as the foundations of our existence. We are the way for the universe to know itself, is something that he said. And so I thought, why not further the tools to study existence, because that's just as important as the study itself. So that's why I wanted to be an engineer, but specifically for the astronomy or astronomical field.
Amazing. All right. Next question for you is, if you could change something about yourself or in yourself, what that would be and why?
I would probably stop my toenails from growing and fingernails. I don't like cutting them. I think it's frustrating and annoying. I'm glad they regrow, and I would still prefer them to continue to grow. But I mean, about myself, I love who I am. I've found my purpose. I know why I'm here. I know who I am, and I know how I want to lead the rest of my life. So I'm in the driver's seat now, and all systems are go. I don't want to change anything about that. So maybe some conveniences.
It's interesting you say that about the nails now. Actually, I'm the same as well. It's my pet peeves. I don't know. I found so difficult to sit down. It takes less than 5 minutes, that, to cut your nail. But I don't know. The only thing to get that, and actually before the interview, I was kind of more or less organized. I'm going to travel the day after tomorrow. I'm going to France to see my godson with my best friend. He's coming from Canada. And I realized that I need to cut my nails. And I just put the clipper there on the side just to remind me that I need to do it tomorrow before going travel. And I was like, I need to do that before going travel.
Yep.
I don't like it. It's something that's always bothered me. I don't know why. Next question. Let's do it. Next question for you, Steve. Let's do it. What are the top 3 things on your bucket list?
Top 3 things on the bucket list. 1, scuba dive in the Great Barrier Reef. 2, go skydiving, and preferably like squirrel shooting, like that thing. I think that is really cool, and I don't know. And 3, have a beautiful family.
Oh,
maybe not in that order, but those are my top 3.
Which one do you think is going to happen the first?
Probably the scuba diving. That's probably like the closest thing. Family takes work and it takes time. And the squirrel suit takes a lot of hours, jump hours is what they call it, I think. So, yeah.
Have you been doing something kind of this sports, something like like a skydive or something like that? But have done something like that?
I have not done anything like physical. Yeah.
All right.
It's all digital, video games sort of.
Next one, Steve. Let's do it. Next question for you is, right, What was the last thing that made you smile genuinely?
This transition music, but um, probably, I mean, my girlfriend threw my birthday party for me yesterday because it was yesterday, my birthday. And I was beaming ear to ear literally the second I walked in the door, throughout the rest of the night. So
Oh, wow.
I would have to say, she takes the cake.
Talking about I can see your eyes shining, talking about your girlfriend. What is the biggest similarity between both of you, and what's the biggest difference?
Our biggest similarity is our sense of humor. We have just a really great like rapport, chemistry. We work well together. So we like solving puzzles together, doing like board games and things that require interaction. And it's something that I've never found with any other human being, and I love it. So that's a good similarity. We're pretty different in our sleep schedule pattern, sort of thing. I like to stay up a little later, and she loves sleep. So, so yeah.
Amazing. And she's from Ohio or from Buffalo?
No, she's from Ohio.
Ohio. All right. Next question. Let's do it. Before the next one, as I was checking your profile, I could see that you are very into fitness. Yeah. So fitness
Yes.
always being into your life.
No, not always. I started working out in 2018, like midway through the year. That was when I stopped drinking. So I made a pancake flip and decided to just clean not every, but as much negativity as I could out of my life. And I just kind of sandwiched in a 5-day a week schedule to hit the gym and become clear and just do the best I could every day. So that's been my fitness regimen. And obviously that I'm not going to say I've been working out 5 days a week since 2018, but but yeah, I've been as consistent as I can be.
Amazing. Right, next question is, if you could be an animal, yeah, which one that would be and why?
I would be a rhinoceros. I have thought a lot about this question, just naturally. Rhinoceri, or rhinoceroses, however you might want to approach that word, are heavily armored, right? And they have a wonderful tusk, but they're super fast too. So it's not like they're just these oafy shells walking around. And, while their vision's not the best, I don't know how, mentally capable they are. However, they're fantastic animals, and I have all the respect for them, and they're capable. So if it means being a herbivore, then so be it, because rhinos are awesome.
Oh, what an answer. I love it. Amazing. I had this question a few guests on the show, but no one answered this yet. There we go, the first one. And the way you explained as well was like literally well explained.
Yeah. If I could have a pet rhino, I definitely would. But
wow,
it's kind of like not legal, so.
Absolutely. Ready for another one?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Right, so before the next one, as you are an astronomer, yeah, I'm sure you've seen a lot about the planets as well, the galaxy, yeah?
Right.
Right. It's just, for me, it's just a simple question, just a question.
Yeah.
If you could go to one of the planets, yeah, the solar system, just for some reason, which one, if you could go, which one would you go and why? To visit for a day or for a moment, if you could?
Sure. Awesome question. Assuming that I have all the capabilities to continue to live, because that is super difficult. In and out, probably Jupiter. I love Jupiter. It's my favorite planet. It's got all the cool moons, the Jovian moons. It has the great red spot, right? Everybody's heard of that amazing storm. It's the largest planet in our solar system, made predominantly of helium and hydrogen. So it's reminiscent, in my mind, composition-wise, of a star. However, it's nowhere near as big in order to create fusion, which is how our sun illuminates, right? It sends out all that energy made by fusion in its hydrostatic equilibrium. I would love to just poke around and see what it's like there in the murky gases, the wind speed, hundreds and hundreds of miles an hour. And it's just a behemoth and a phenomenal point to explore. I think with our current technology, Mars would probably be the safest bet, either that or Venus. But again, if I'm just headed out with all the equipment I can get my hands on in the future, I'm definitely going to Jupiter.
Oh, I love the question, the answer. Amazing. Next question is, what can make you cry and what can make you really happy?
So when Matthew McConaughey goes in the Tesseract in Interstellar and is banging on the bookshelf to his younger daughter in the movie Interstellar, every single time, that makes me cry. That and emotional, I'm obviously emotional, but heartfelt messages from family and, close friends. Those heartfelt messages, I love love. I enjoy my human connections, and when it's reciprocated, that'll get me. So, I'm sorry, what was the second part of your question?
And what makes you really happy?
What makes me really happy? That's having my checklist done for the week. So all of my to-dos are cleared from the board, and I can just go and do things. I can sit if I want to. I can take a walk, but I don't have any more obligations. When I'm liberated to that effect, that just makes me real happy down inside.
Usually, do you go to the gym in the morning or the afternoon or evening?
I go in the afternoon, usually before 5 o'clock, when all of the hubbub and riffraff get there. I try to get situated and get everything out as soon as I can.
As you're saying about your to-do list, that you're very focused on it. You are kind of person that sometimes if you miss out something for some reason, or if kind of let it go, put on the side, do give yourself a hard time, or just go like, okay, it's fine, tomorrow I can catch up?
Oh, I really don't give myself a hard time at all.
Mm-hmm.
I like to think of, the song Que Sera Sera, whatever will be, will be. This is the reality, and there's no use crying over spilled milk. It's done, and I can't do anything but what happens next. My actions are what I control.
Good. Next question, Steve. Let's do it. Right. Next question for you is, would you rather be invisible or be able to fly, and what would you do?
I have thought about that. So I love those, types of questions. I feel like invisibility is more criminal and sneak, and I want to fly. Put on a coat because you're gonna get cold up there, and just zoom around. I'm sure the FAA would have some things to say to me. However, I feel like being invisible, it's just it gets dark, when you think about what you can do with it. So I want to fly. I'm a natural explorer. I have a tendency to wander to far off regions, and so I think that makes the most sense for me to take to the skies.
Yeah, I think if you're invisible, you start to can be a bit naughty, you know what I mean? You can get off this dark side, as you said. Let's say that you have the power of flying right now. where would you fly anywhere in the world if you could right now? If you had the superpower, where would you go?
I'll probably head on over to London. I've never been to that part of Europe, and I know that since the Queen has passed, things are a little bit in transition. So I just I want to head over there and see how life is moving forward, because this is a huge historical event.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's interesting saying that. I'm originally from Brazil, and I've been here for the last 17 years. And just the facts of being here, you know what I mean? These historical moments, it's just history happening right now.
Right.
Not new year, you know what I mean? Something finished, then another one is starting, and it's so interesting to be here. And actually, I remember the date last Thursday, actually, 1 week ago. Almost 1 week ago, and she passed away. I remember I was at work, and I was working near Buckingham Palace, and that was like 5 p.m. And the news was on, the helicopters was on. It wasn't official yet, and it was raining so much on that, like this period of the time. It was so interesting because it was dark, and we've been very, very lucky this year with the weather, because the summer this year was be amazing. Like every single day was literally like warm, very warm, which is not usual here, summertime. Anyway, but that day was literally a proper English day, you know what I mean? Like London, like gray, but it was raining. I remember looking outside, it was literally heavy rain, like a lot. And I met a friend of mine for dinner, and I went to her place, and we put the TV on, and that was already official, you know what I mean? So it's being here in this moment is just like, it's so beautiful to see people around, just like cherish, you know what I mean, about this. Again, sure. You know what I mean? Everyone was sad about it, upset, but at the same time, the celebration as well, you know what I mean? She left her legacy, you know, there's never going to be another one like her. My God, right. 70 years, you know what I mean, as a queen, it's just amazing, beautiful to see. And the funeral was yesterday, and I was watching a bit, and it's just like, my God, it's never going to be another moment like that in, you know what I mean, this, our lives we are living right now, you know what I mean? So, yeah. London, why not? One day for sure. A beautiful place to be. I love it. I love London.
Yeah.
Next question. Steve from Ohio. Next question is, what have you learned during this lockdown, coronavirus crisis?
Well, I tried to learn some Chinese. I did Duolingo for a little bit. I focused on fitness. I found a good gym setup that was, apart from the rest of society, and was able to pretty much just do that. 3 meals a day, and keep family close, but digitally, of course. And I guess just that things can always just change. Things can go away, come to fruition, and nothing's static. It's easy to forget that that life it just moves, and it's always moving. And sometimes it is subtle, but sometimes it is not. So.
Did you get to spend during the lockdown? Did you get to spend in Ohio, or you got back to Buffalo in New York?
No, I was in Charleston, South Carolina.
I see. All right. Next question. Let's do it. But before the next one, as I can see how much you enjoy, you know what I mean, your course, your studies. But tell me, what's the most challenging part, if there is any?
The most challenging part is just organizing, making sure that I'm prioritizing the right tasks and action items, sort of thing, that I'm sitting down after class and using my time as productively as I can in order to maximize my free time. Because that's the best part, is not doing work. I do enjoy the schoolwork. However, I do value my personal time, and there's a healthy balance. So the difficulty is definitely structuring those next steps.
Next question for you is, what was your biggest punishment that you ever received?
I mean, I was probably 22, and we were out karaokeing, and my buddy thought it would be funny to grab the microphone from me and then just start screaming. We might have had a couple adult beverages, some alcohol may or may not have been involved, but he thought it was funny, and nobody thought it was funny, and I was just standing there like, okay, here we go. And we were promptly escorted from the establishment. That was I would say that's a punishment, right? You don't get to have fun here anymore. That was an adult timeout, so yeah.
It happened, part of the journey. Steve, I have 3 questions left for you.
Cool.
Let's do it. Next question for you is, if you could sit down with your 13-year self, no, sorry, let's start again. If you could sit down with your 13-year-old self, what would you say?
I'd tell him you're not gonna be that heavy forever, man. And just, put the effort in. I was infamous growing up, especially 13 was that 7th grade. I was infamous for knowing things and just not putting in the requisite effort. It's like anybody that goes through school that's got some brains thinks I could just study the night before, and I could just write the paper the night before. Just put in the work, because it pays off so much more if you do. And I definitely, as I had approached puberty, I was a big old kid, and all that weight just kind of, and I shot up, and I'm 6'3" now, but I was not this large before. I was more rotund, spherical. So I was insecure about it, but it's not forever. So that's what I would tell him, young buck.
Young bunk. Look, as you just turned 30 years old yesterday, tell me one point of view it's changed when you were 20 years old. That's now, it's a totally different one. You go like, my goodness, sorry, I can't believe that I changed it. That's something, a point of view like in the 20s that your guy, you totally change it. If there is something that comes to your mind.
I think the purpose going forward. When I was 20, I was working at a pizza shop as a waiter, and I was having a bunch of fun, but I had no purpose. And I really wasn't concerned about it. I thought that I could, as long as I made enough money for rent and food, I was fine. Now, I have enough money for rent and food, but I know it's not that it's not fine. It's just I know what I need to do to be where I want to be. And so I think that approach is a little bit different. And by a little bit, I mean a lot of it.
2 questions left for you, Steve. Let's do it. All right. Next question is, what's the biggest prize you ever won?
Biggest prize? My girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah. It's a little cheesy, but when I put it in perspective, right? Because I met her on a dating app, right? Everybody's meeting on these dating apps on the internet, and they come on your cell phone. So after, figuring out cell phones and the internet, I figured out, oh, this is how people are meeting each other. And so I must have, gone through so many different profiles and everything like that. And I remembered seeing hers and thinking, I want to talk to her. And it wasn't primal. It wasn't like, you know, give me a piece of that. it was a genuine intrigue. And our conversation went amazingly. And still, I was reserved because a lot of people talk about meeting strangers online, and it is a precarious scenario. So after we met, it was just sparks from there. And out of my dating rap sheet, she's a gem, and I value her every day. So
Who fell in love first, in your opinion?
well, it's tough. I said I love you first. I don't know who fell in love first, though. I loved her very quickly, and she immediately responded back with the fact that she loves me too, and we've just been lovey ever since. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Ready for the last one?
Let's do it.
Last question. But before the last question, let's say people watch the interview right now. They'd like to become an astronomer, an engineer, to start, a career as you are doing right now. What would be your best piece of advice?
My best piece of advice is don't worry about the money. The money comes, especially in math and science. And thinking of astronomy purely, obviously engineering is a very financially beneficial vocation, but astronomers are in need. There are not many people who choose to specialize. Take the first step, take an online class. There are so many free certified classes, and then think, you just need a piece of paper. That piece of paper, it might be time consuming, but the trade-off is immense. It's a glorious world out there if you have genuine intrigue, and do not hesitate to explore, because this life is finite, but our imaginations are not. So take every advantage that you have when you have those feelings and thoughts of, maybe I should try something like this, because the worst thing that can happen is you find something better that you want to explore.
Wow, amazing. Last question for you is, what makes you feel discouraged?
Discouraged it's a good feeling. What makes me feel discouraged is failure. When I try and I think I can and I don't. Failure is, many great people have said the best way to learn is through failure. The way that new materials are discovered in like material design, things like that, steels and alloys, is by failure, is by testing a material until it breaks, figuring out the properties of that material, and then moving forward knowing what you have. So, obviously I can't objectify the human experience, but it is not unlike, testing to the point of failure, figuring out why it failed, and moving forward. So that discouragement is part of the failure process. And it's unfortunate because the feeling is not fun, but what it results in is improvement. And so that's the brighter side of it.
Wow, good. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to give away some words. Just tell one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking.
Got it.
So, I hope you are enjoying the interview. Before we do the word association game, don't forget to give a like, don't forget to share this video, and also don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Just click on the button right there. Thank you so much and enjoy the word association game. Let's start with family.
Friendship.
One word for money.
Capital.
One word for love.
Passion.
Passion, okay? One word for life.
Experience.
How about sex?
Delicious.
One word for religion.
Positivity.
Politics.
Lies.
Friendship.
Value.
Fear.
Strength.
Desire.
Heart.
Heart, okay? Regrets.
Yes.
Success.
Goals.
Wish.
Desperation.
I like that, actually. Happiness.
Summertime.
One word for buffalo.
Bills.
One word for Ohio.
Steel.
USA.
Opportunity.
One word for astronomer.
Explorer.
Engineer. One word.
Creator.
And the last one now, as you mentioned about your favorite planet, Jupiter, if you could define just one word, which one would be?
Gargantuan.
Wow, what a word. Right, let's pretend now I'm going to meet your lovely girlfriend for a coffee, and I'm going to ask her, tell me the most beautiful thing about Steve, and tell me something that he still needs to work on, to improve on. What should say?
She'd say my attitude. She likes my positivity, and she thinks that it's an attractive quality. And she also thinks I'm gorgeous, and I think she's beautiful as well. So physically, it's nice. Something I need to work on is probably some insecurities. Everybody's got them, and I am no different. I am a person with feelings and thoughts, and we've talked about that. So that's definitely a stepping stone.
Let's play now, Steve, in the magic box, and you can ask me a question. All right, you can ask me a question now, Steve.
Cool. So I have a would you rather. This is one of my favorites to ask people. Would you rather be Spider-Man but with no bones, or be the Flash and you can only run backwards?
Ouch. Tricky question, and I love the question. My goodness. Wow, what a question. Okay, I'm for a personal reason, I'm gonna say Spider-Man, yeah? Because I cannot run backwards because I feel sick.
There you go. You're just gonna need to worry about the jelly.
Yeah, the only reason, I think. And it's a trick question, isn't it? I never thought about that. But when you said about going backwards, I really could see myself like sick. So I said, no, I cannot do that.
Yeah. It's okay. You chose your fate, though. So, here we are.
If I could ask the same question, would you have an answer for that and an explanation?
I don't get sick. So I could just, run super fast backwards, probably get some rig so I could see what's going on behind there. And I can still walk forwards just fine. Bones are a critical part of our operability. And, if you're just a wad of muscle, there's nothing for the tendons to pull on. So it'd be a tough one. So definitely the Flash.
Wow. Steve, did you like the interview? Did you enjoy the communication, the journey?
Oh, absolutely. It was wonderful. And it was just such a delight to chat. And I hope that you have a wonderful and prosperous interview with whomever comes next.
Thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks for sharing your knowledge. My goodness, if I'm not wrong, you are my, I had like people all over the world, you know, different backgrounds, different, you know, and I think you are my, I had an astronomer, but it wasn't, he was an engineer. He was kind of a specialist. I don't remember. And I don't want to say anything like that here. But if I'm not wrong, you are my first astronomer here on the Magic Box. Wow.
We are.
Thanks so much for taking the time. But before you go, if you can share a positive message, something that you live by.
Of course. I actually have a poem by Dylan Thomas. And so I had said the movie Interstellar is one of my, it is my favorite movie. So I actually have it hanging above my computer. So I'm just going to read it for you. And if you've seen the movie, you'll know. Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. The wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words had forked no lightning. They do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light.
Beautiful, beautiful. As I can see how much you love this movie, when was the last time that you watched it?
Oh, last month. Yeah.
Good. Steve, regards to your family, regards to your girlfriend, and you keep in touch. It was a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Okay?
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
Take care. Bye-bye. Okay.
Go Bills.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye bye, see you next time.